This is Meri at the.meri.atelier, and today I'm going to do another tatting video. I'm teaching myself how to needle tat, and I'm bringing you along with me. I hope this inspires some of you to do some of this because it's really simple. If you can crochet, if you like to crochet or knit, or you might just want to try it after you see me do it and say, well, that looked like I could do it. And yeah. So this is my fourth video. I've already gone through some of the basic things. I am using a book, Learn Needle Tatting Step by Step with Barbara Foster. I will put a link to her channel in here. It doesn't have a whole lot on it, but it has some things that might be helpful as you learn. Then I do have some tatting needles. Now this is a size 8 and it's for very fine thread. I will not be using this until I get more experienced. I have a set of tatting needles that I showed in my first video, but I'm using the number 3, which is the largest eye. And my thread, I want to say it's a number 10 crochet thread, but I'm not real sure. I got it from Walmart. It is a thicker thread, and it's easier to handle when you're learning. So we have done the double stitch. I showed you how to do that, and I put it in my journal. I made a journal just to keep track of my learning experiences. So I will be reviewing that, and we will be learning the picot stitch and making a ring in this video. So let me put these aside because we won't be using them right away. And I'm going to zoom in so that you can see what I'm doing. And just hold the phone. Okay. We are ready to thread the needle. And to do that, what I've learned is to get that thread as close up to your fingertips as you can. And there is, on most needles, a front and a back. One is a little bit larger than the other, and you want to get it as close into the eye of the needle as you can and push it through, if you can, here. Push it through and pull it through on the other side. Now, I'm going to snip this off because it's a little splayed. So get your thread up to the needle point as close as you can. And sometimes it helps to have a white sheet behind it, so you can actually see the hole of the needle. You would know if I was doing this online. There we go. So now it's threaded. And I will say this thread is a little large for the eye of this needle, but it's what I'm learning with. Threaded tatting needle. Have a tail. I leave it about 6 inches. I think as you get more experienced, you may want to make that shorter because it does get in the way sometimes, but I leave it about 6 inches. Put your index finger up here toward the front of the needle, and then the rest of this thread will form a loop, and you'll have a tail over here too that you want to hang down. Put your thread, you got 3 fingers here, put your thread under it, loop it around your index finger, over the index finger, around and down, and hold on to it with these 3 fingers here. Okay, so I do what I call a little starter stitch. It helps me keep the thread on the needle without it falling off. And I go under this thread, I come to the back and go under this thread. And it's not a real tat stitch, it's just a little starter stitch. I find that it helps me keep this thread on the needle as I get started tatting. And that's just something I do. So now you want to start tatting, and you have a double stitch. Is the only stitch that you'll have in tatting besides the picot. The picot really isn't a stitch. It's sort of a stitch, but the double stitch is really the only stitch that you'll have. So you want to bring your thread over your needle, under the loop, and through it like that. And that's the first leg. And then on the same double stitch, you're going to do the back leg. So you come around and back through the back and pull it through. And that is one double stitch. One double stitch. Okay, we're going to do 5 of them, and I count like I go 1 back, 2 back, 3 back. So we're ready for 2, which is really, I call it a front stitch, but I say 2 back for the back stitch. Whoops, I missed it there. Back. 3 back. 4 back. We make 5 double stitches. So this is the last one, 5, and then the back stitch, the back leg. So here we have the little starter stitch, which you can pull out, but I use it when I close up my ring anyway. So we have 5 double stitches on here. We're ready to do a picot. And to do a picot, you have about an inch space, and I use my index finger, not an inch, a ½ inch. You have about a ½ inch space. I use my index finger to keep my thread from falling down the needle. So you make your front leg here, and see I've got a gap in there, and that's what I want. And then you do the back here. Like that. And then you start with your second row of 5 stitches. So you go 1 back, 2 back, 3 back, 4 back. One more. 5, and you're back. Now we're ready to do the second picot, and you want to make it just about the same length as your first one. You don't want a big loop. You want maybe about a 1/4 inch on each side. So it's about a ½ inch that you're going to leave a space in here, approximately. So you do the first leg. Don't let it slide through. That's why we have the stopper in there. And then you do the last leg. And I do not count this as a stitch. I don't know if it's proper to or not. I just count it as my picot, the last leg of my picot. So I'm going to do 5 more double stitches. 1 back, 2 back, 3, I'm losing my thread, back, 4 back, 5 back. So we got the second row of 5 double stitches. And we're ready to do another picot stitch. Did I lose that first one? Did I lose him in there? No, there he is. So we've got two picots. We're ready to do the last one. And just place your finger there. Make it about a ½ inch. Do the first leg, which is a front stitch, and then do the last leg, the back leg. and that makes a double stitch, but I don't count it as the first double stitch. Now we're going to do the last, we're going to do the last 5. Try to keep these as straight as you can. I'll straighten them out when I'll straighten out the little picots when I pull the ring off. Okay, so we're going to do the last 5 double stitches. So 1, back, 2, back, 3, back, 4, back. And when I say back, I mean I'm working off the back of my finger. And 5. And the last leg here. Now I have 5 double stitches and 3 picots on here. There's the second one, the third one, and the first one is right in here. He's kind of hiding. There he is. Kind of get them all pointed the same way and straighten out your double stitches so they're pointing the same way. Keep your tail, and there's a tail here and a tail there. There's a tail off of the end of it where you started, and then there's your needle thread tail. Now, I usually pull this a little shorter because when we pull our ring off, we're going to pull both of these threads through all these double stitches. And so what we're going to do here is I kind of pull my ending thread away from it so it doesn't get tangled up in here. What we're going to do is gently pull this whole thing down, and we're going to let this thread go through all those double stitches, your thread on your needle, not your starting tail. Keep that away. So just gently pull it through, and see, you'll be pulling until you get to the end down here. You'll be pulling 2 threads through. So just gently pull it, and you can see as you pull, it naturally wants to start forming the ring. So just pull it. See how it's forming a ring there? Just pull it gently. Keep pulling, and it will make its own little ring. And it kind of wants to loop around. I just let it do its thing, and it will form a ring here. Pull it this way, and it flops around on me. That's okay. I'll pull it tight. You want to pull your thread, pull it nice and tight. That's my tail thread. I think I'm pulling on this one. You want to pull on your needle thread. There we go. And the tighter you pull it, the prettier your ring will be, and the smaller it will be. But it will only go so small anyway, because this is a larger thread. But here's my ring. Let me hold it up close so you can see it. Isn't that pretty? Now, what I do, and I've seen some videos where people do this, I take my thread, my needle thread, separate it out here, and I go through the last stitch, double stitch that I put on here. I go through there, and then I go through the first double stitch, the starting double stitch, sometimes catching that little starter stitch that I put on there. And that kind of helps me close up the ring. I don't know if that's a proper thing to do, but I'm doing it. And I just pull it through. And I imagine when you start joining these, you leave about 1/4 of an inch. So because I'm doing these rings separate, I want it to close up. I think when I start joining these rings, I won't have to worry about this. I think. I'm not sure. I'll find out when I get there. Then what I do, because I'm doing these rings separately, I just take and tie a little shoelace knot, if I can. A little shoelace knot, get in there, like I'm tying a shoe, just like that. Tie it nice and tight, and that's a pretty little ring. Now I can take the thread off my needle. I'll have a long tail here. I've been saving these threads that I cut off because this one's a little shorter than my others. I have some really long ones, but I can use them, if anything, to make a tassel off of the longer ones. But here's my ring. And let's take my needle and kind of shape up these picots here. Here's one, the middle one, the left, and the right. And that formed a really pretty ring. Now, I want to show you here, I have my journal where I've been practicing making these rings. And if you're following along, I would say you should probably practice. Practice, practice, practice. Practice, practice. Don't worry about joining them together yet. Here's my book. This is the double stitches that I mounted in here just to say that I'm learning the double stitches. And they're not perfect here because they wanted to form the ring, but it documents my journey. And what you see over here are all the rings that I've been practicing. And I'm going to mount these on some paper and do a page that says I've been practicing all my rings. And what I want to do, like, you can sit and watch TV and do this. And what I want to do is have a little box that I start filling, just nothing but little rings. And then I can pull one out. Let's put this one in. I can pull one out of my little box, you know, a little collection box. And right now it's going to be rings. I might, when I start joining them, I might make some little pieces. But here's my pincushion doll. I could give her one. I could put it on a piece of artwork. I could sew it on a piece of fabric, put it on a stitch roll. It's a pretty little ring, you know, it's just pretty. Now, in our next video, we will start joining two rings together. But for right now, this is where we're going to stop, right here. Practice, practice, practice. Do all your little picot rings. And make as many, just keep making them. You know, I have a thinner gold thread. I wonder if I could tat with this. I got this to, I'll bet I could. I'll bet I could. It would probably fit through that needle better. Shall we try it? Shall we try it here? I was getting ready to sign off. This is a gold thread. Let's pull off a yard of it. And a little bit more. And let's see if I can, how this tats up. I haven't tried it. Let's get this one out of the way. I like that one. That one was very successful. I think I could thread my needle easier with this, because it looks like it's a thinner thread. She said. That went through easy. I got a tail here of about 6 inches. And let's put this one out of the way so I don't lose it. And we got my loop. The thread's a little stiffer than that crochet thread. It's more of a thread that you could use for bookbinding. All right, so I have a tail over here. I'm going to hold it in my hand, and I'm going to loop my thread over my index finger and under and hold on to it. And then I have a loop that I'm going to work my tats off of. I'm going to do my little starter stitch here that I like to do. I don't know if it's a proper thing to do, but it seems to help me. A little starter stitch. And then I hold this tail in my right hand with the needle, because it gets in my way. So let's do some tatting here. 1 back, 2 back, that will be the first. No, that's 2. I have 2 on there. All right, let's count. 3 back, 4 back. And as you get going, you'll get faster and better. 5 back. Did I get that on there right? I'm going to pull that one off if I can. I don't think I got it on there right. This thread is a little more stiff. All right, we're going to do our last one. 5 back. All right, we're ready for the picot. So my first picot is going to be right here, about a 1/2 inch. Do the first leg of it. Right there, don't let it slide down. And then you do the second leg. And now you push it down and make the little picot stitch there. All right, so we're going to do the second 5. 1 back, 2 back. Did I get that? Yeah. No, I don't think I got that one. It's hard for me to say it. Let's put it on there. I think it fell off. Back. 3 back. 4 back. 5. Now I want to say, even though I'm kind of showing you step by step what I'm doing, this is not a teaching video. This is just showing you what I'm learning and how I'm doing it. And I'm taking you along on my learning journey. All right, we're ready for the second picot. We make a little 1/2 inch spacer there with our index finger. Do the front leg. So this thread is a little stiffer, but it's gold. Front leg and then the back leg. And that forms a double stitch, and we close up the picot by sliding it down. Now we're ready for the third set of 5 double stitches. So we go 1 back, 2 back, 3 back, 4 back, 5 back. Now we're ready for our next picot, which is the last one. So put your spacer, your finger spacer in there, about a 1/2 inch. And front leg, and then the back leg. And then you squeeze them together. I might try to pull that out a little more. There we go. So we've got 3 picots on there. We're ready for our last group of 5 stitches. So 5 double stitches. 1 back, 2 back, 3 back, 4 back, 5 back. Now, I think this thread, it's just some thread I got at the thrift store. It's a thinner thread, but it's also a stiffer thread. And yeah, I guess it's making my double stitches fine. Okay, we're going to get that starting tail out of the way. And we're going to, I think this is, since my thread is finer, I'm going to leave it maybe about 3-inch tail down there. And what we want to do is put it like this, slide your double stitches down the needle and pull your needle through. And it will start to form its own little ring here. See, it's starting to form the ring. And just pull it through, pull it through, pull it through, pull it through. And I'm a little wary of this twisting on itself. And when it twists on itself, sometimes it makes a knot. So I'm trying to be careful not to knot it. That's the tail. Let's see, can I pull it? I can keep pulling. Pull it, pull it, pull it. And there, it's forming its ring right here. And I'm going to straighten it out, kind of tighten it up. There's the ring. Oh, it's pretty. All right, let's close it up. Now, I don't know if it's proper or not to stitch these together, but I'm going to, because I don't want them to fall off of the, let's tighten that up a little. And I'm going to come through here. Now, this is the ending tail. I'm just going to push my needle through those two, the last stitch of the needle thread and the first stitch that we put on. And I'm going to pull that through, and we're going to tighten this up like that. And then I'm going to make a shoelace knot. And this is just what I'm doing. I think when we start joining them, you may not want to do this part, but let's pull this through and tie a little shoelace knot in there. I think this thread is a little more rough. It's not a soft thread. It's a kind of a rough thread. And let's clip it off. All right, we'll save that portion. And let's straighten out my picots here. Kind of make them look pretty. 1, 2, 3. And all my little double stitches are pointed out. Real nice and pretty. Looks like I have a little thread hanging there, but I'm not going to worry about it because looks like I got an extra thread in there. An extra little loop. I'm not going to worry about it because I'm learning. And I'm learning with a new thread. So it's a learning experience. So here's one. And here's the other one that I did today. Let's straighten those picots out so you can see them better. And there we go. And I'm going to put my needle like this, and this will be my thumbnail. Thank you for watching. Now, the next video, I'm going to be joining, showing you how to join. That's a learning experience for me too. But you join right in here. Of course, you would join over on this side. These two would always be joined. You would, on your next picot, your next ring that you make, when you get to this, you join. So we're going to be practicing that. Get out your thread, watch some TV, watch a video, and practice making rings. I'm going to mount these in here, but I'm going to start filling up a little cup of rings that I can use in my in my artwork. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.